Hey, friendo, Steve here.
Larson.
And welcome back to Going in Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to. On today's episode, we've got some news from the world of pro wrestling, including WWE Shop's chatbot potentially spoiling a big return, and some programming information on AEW and their deal with Max. Also, got a whole section of stuff that you want us to talk about from the world of pro wrestling, including a former WWE star just completely burying his own career day after day after day.
Yeah.
Riddle me this, Batman. I wonder who we're talking about. And, of course, we've got our AEW Dynamite review on the road to All Out. Were any matches made official for All Out?
Yeah, Hurt Syndicate versus Ricochet and Gates of Agony was official.
Right.
So I think we got 2 matches for All Out now.
We've got 2 official matches for All Out.
I think 2 official matches. You got Tony Storm looking for an opponent. We don't know who Hangman's going to face per se. Anyways, a lot to be worked out yet for All Out. And one thing that's not going to be worked out now for All Out is when it's going to start. So following news, WWE was going to run WrestlePalooza opposite AEW's All Out on September 20th. That's next Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
We wondered if AEW would blink and move the show. Sorry, the start time of the show. Sure enough, AEW announced yesterday that All Out would move from its originally scheduled 8 p.m. Eastern start time to 3 p.m. Eastern. That's noon for us on the West Coast, avoiding that head-to-head competition with WWE's Premium Live event. The same press release, AEW announced that beginning with All Out, AEW pay-per-views can be ordered through HBO Max, and you get a discounted price. You get $10 off, $39.99.
Ooh.
If you do it through Max.
And you get to watch Succession.
That's true, and that's a great show. Watch that show. It's fantastic.
That's great value right there. Like, you get ESPN. Granted, the Ocho's got some pretty decent programming. Pillow fights, for example.
Roof ball.
I forget what they call the soccer, where it's 3 soccer teams all competing in a giant circle with 3 soccer goals. Ultimate soccer, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, they had the wiffle ball world championships on there.
Confusing soccer is what I call that.
Yeah, you said the commentators were pretty confused. Anyways.
The sideline reporter was so confused. He was like, well, I know what the strategy would be in a regular soccer game. I don't know.
Don't know what it is here.
It was like the first time they ever played this. In any event, not added value for that ESPN Plus, but Max, you get Succession, you get the Games of the Thrones, and you get a bunch of other stuff.
Deadwood still on there?
Yeah, you got Deadwood.
See,
you get the
there's
Deadwood
a lot of
movie.
Great TV on there. Anyway.
Great TV. Anyways, so yeah, is this a smart move from Tony Khan to move All Out to the noon slot here on the West Coast?
As much as I would like that head-to-head battle, because I don't think AEW is necessarily going to suffer a whole lot of losses in terms of their pay-per-view buys, but it might be a situation where they have, this is speculation on my part, but I wonder if the HBO Max thing was going to happen with All Out, and they don't want that to be overshadowed by something else. Because for them, that apparently seems like a huge deal. And it offers people, if they already have HBO Max, a way to get the pay-per-views for a little bit less. It's not as expensive, $10 less, but in this day and age when everything's so expensive, anytime you can save a few dollars, it's worth it. So I wonder it probably is smart business just to make sure, all right, we have our own window for our own show, so we'll get our buys guaranteed, and we don't have to worry about WWE trying to mess with our buys. It probably is the right move. Based on how this card is coming together, All Out, where there's only 2 matches announced, like a week and a half away from it. Unless, you got like a home run of a show to go up head-to-head with WWE, yeah, it's probably best just to push the start time, have your own 4-hour window for your show. WWE can do their thing, and then if it's in whatever the next time WWE tries to go head-to-head, load up your pay-per-view just to see what happens. You take an L, hey, at least you went head-to-head. Now you can adjust going forward.
Well, these days, dude, I don't even know what like an L would be considered, given that the metrics are so different. Like, I mean, the obvious one is a hit to your pay-per-view buys.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Which, like that's too much of an L if you have the option to not do that. I like this move. So according to Fightful Select, sources that they spoke to in AEW said the afternoon pay-per-view success Forbidden Door, which I think did around 100 it was between like 115 and 122,000 buys, helped contribute to the decision, which had been discussed for weeks. Yeah, I think this is a good move. I think that, well, so here's the thing. It's a good business move. I think you're probably right about the Max thing. That's probably, on their minds as well. They want that to be as successful as possible to keep their broadcast partners happy. But yeah, you also have kind of the benefit of, especially if you run one of these 6-hour-long pay-per-views, you could overlap ESPN's WrestlePalooza a little bit, or just sort of tucker people out. It's like, oh man, I just watched this killer AEW pay-per-view. Now I got to go watch those other guys and their endless recap packages and advertisements and Brock Lesnar. So yeah, I think it's a really good business move. It would be kind of interesting to see them just sort of man up, I guess, and be like, we're gonna take on WWE. Go ahead and bring it. But like, because they already had their big show, they already had All In. All In's at WrestleMania. And that did wonderfully. And this is like their backlash. It's like Forbidden Doors. That's sort of like, it's not even that canon. But like, you got this here. This is like your backlash. It's like, they only announced they've got 2 weeks left, 3 weeks left, and they've only announced there's 3 matches on the thing. Apparently, they made Mercedes and Riho official as well.
That's right.
Yeah. So you could go head to head with WWE, but like, why bother? Like, moving back is actually kind of a savvier. It's like I don't view it as a cowardice move, Larson.
No, I don't either.
Savvier. This is a game of chess we're playing, not checkers, where you got the piece that goes L shape.
Which one's that?
Is it the knight?
I don't know. I don't know how to play chess.
I think the bishop just goes straight ahead, whatever he wants to do.
That sounds right, but again, I don't know.
Yeah, neither do I. This is like some of that 3D chess they're playing. Oh, man. First we're on at 5. Now we're bang. Noon. Wow,
so in
crazy.
3D chess, not like you go forward and backwards, side to side. You can go up and down then, too.
Man, I don't even want to get into that. When I see them playing that shit on Star Trek, I'm like, I'm more of a Parisi Squares guy. Anyways. So, yeah, I think this is probably a good move on their part. Hey, we get the pay-per-view for $40. That's kind of nice.
That is nice.
$10. What are we going to do with that extra $10, dude?
So are we going to do a live stream of All Out? Probably take an hour break and then do, what's it called, WrestlePalooza? And that hour break, we can use that $10 and get ourselves some delicious fast food.
What fast food are we going to get between the two of us for $10, Larson?
There's got to be something that's
delicious,
more affordable.
You either get delicious or you get cheap.
You get at McDonald's. They got those $5 deals.
Oh, okay.
So you get the sandwich, the nuggets, and a drink, and
How
small
many nuggets
fry.
do they give? I think it's like 4 nuggets, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
4 nuggets. That just makes me want more nuggets.
That's why you get the sandwich too.
I'll be like, Larson, look over there. I take the rest of your nuggets. So yeah, I don't know about all that live streaming business you just mentioned, but we'll definitely be watching both those shows and be dropping our reviews as well. Okay, I'll put the time codes in this. This can't at this point for anybody be much of a spoiler though, because it's been everywhere. Everybody's reporting on it.
Yes.
And so we're going to mention a spoiler regarding our big WWE return here. And we'll just go ahead and you can click forward if you want to on whatever you're watching or listening to this on, and then we'll be done talking about it. But this was kind of funny because, like on Twitter anyways, this sort of broke in an interesting way. And it has to do with WWE Shop apparently using some sort of AI chatbot for their customer service on Twitter anyways. Wrestling account Wrestling Days, who's also on YouTube, said, hey, at WWE Shop, they tweeted this out. Where's the AJ Lee merchandise? What am I meant to wear on Friday when I watch SmackDown? Normal clothes? And then WWEshop.com's official Twitter account, X account, responded with this. Hey there! Of course, we wouldn't expect that. With AJ Lee's return to the ring, we're looking to have some fire gear, hopefully in time for WrestlePalooza. Be sure you're signed up for the emails and get the latest updates on new live inventory. Happy shopping! What
an excellent way by Wrestling Days here to elicit this response from WWEshop.com's official Twitter account.
Yeah, no, it's great. So it's funny. I talked about this a little bit on the WrestleJuice last night. I did a thing because somebody posted on the subreddit, and one of the comments said something like this had happened before with like some sort of video game launch, where like it hadn't really been announced as having been a thing. I forget what the video game was. I could look it up, but I forget if it's in the comments or the Reddit comments. Where like whatever chatbot, like Xbox or whatever was using, spoiled the announcement of this game's release as well. This is a common practice these days, and this is, I don't think by any means meant to indicate that some social media manager was like, oh yeah, go ahead and mention this. This is already out there. To totally go ahead and do this. This is just a chatbot who's like gathering information, stealing information, using 1.21 gigawatts to do it. And then it just says, yeah, no, looks around the internet space. Yeah, AJ Lee's coming back. Sure. Why not? Turns out she is actually coming back, though, because everybody's reporting on that, Larson.
Yeah. I know Feifel's had more on it. Brian Alvarez seems pretty damn sure that she's coming back, so it seems like it's going to happen. Yeah,
it seems like it. And it wouldn't shock us, I think, if this happened tomorrow night on SmackDown, given that they're in Chicago. They're in Chicago. Also, WrestleVotes today tweeted out something along the lines of, sources backstage at WWE are saying that tomorrow night's SmackDown could be the last SmackDown for John Cena, like ever.
Interesting.
Because there's only 7 dates left. And, obviously, like half of those are going to be used for actual matches and premium live events. Yeah. And so it seems like this might be the last time we see him on SmackDown. And the interesting thing about that is that he debuted in the same building on that episode of SmackDown all those days ago back in the Chicago.
20-some years ago, yeah.
Yeah. So interesting,
Symmetry, full circle.
He should have a shirt that's, one of his farewell shirts to just say, it should be his face from that time. Ruthless aggression.
Should be.
And then he put on a match which he then savaged years and years later.
He did.
Nobody
and a
cares.
Wildly entertaining video.
Oh, yeah. If anybody wants to watch a really wonderful John Cena video, I know there's many of them, but there's one where he's just sitting there by himself, of course. Be great if he
nice
did this
suit.
It'd be awesome. He always has great suits, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Be great if he got together with Kurt Angle to watch this match. Do you think his commentary would be similar, or would it be more like in the spirit of, hey, we're joking and having a good time here?
I think he would be just as honest about his own performance while putting over Kurt Angle. Like he'd give all credit to whatever is good in the match to Kurt Angle.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And anything that isn't up to his standards, he would take the blame for.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment right there. That's a fair assessment. Before we continue on with what you want us to talk about, bring this up really quick. It's September, and oh boy, I've got some good news for the people who are part of the Friendo Club. We're talking about the channel members. We're talking about the patrons. The Hilton interview is in the can. It will be going up later on today. It's the next thing on my agenda after I'm done with this stuff. It is going up later on today. The Hilton interview. This thing is so explosive. I think answers are revealed, Larson. At least for me personally, I feel satisfied regarding the Larson Hilton fight situation. I feel pretty satisfied with the outcome of this. But in order to watch it, you got to become part of the Friendo Club by becoming a channel member or a patron at patreon.com/Steven Larson. It's the Friendo Club setup. Either way you do it, it's $5 a month to get access to the bonus episodes, including the explosive Hilton interview and our old bonus episodes, question threads, and of course, the big predictions challenge. The shirt it's wild. I did this really wonderful shirt that says it's every line is in different font. So it's one of those type shirts. It's great.
Yeah, it's like the Bob Roode one from TNA.
It says, I dethroned the guy. Yeah, exactly. I dethroned the guy that cashed in on the guy that dethroned Steve, right?
Yeah.
I show you this shirt, and I'm really happy about it. And you say, hey, can I make some edits? Which is very rare. And I was like, okay, it's in the cloud. So I go back and I look at the thing. I've been locked out of the edit, and there's like a really wild change to this thing that I did not expect, nor did I approve, given that I'm the graphics guy.
Yeah, but it looks fine. There's an extra font now, if memory serves.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, it looks like you just wrote on there like your name.
Yeah.
And a big X through all the stuff that I had written.
Yeah.
So this, I'll debut. I'm not going to debut it right now, but I did. I took a picture of it. I'm going to put it up. Maybe on like this weekend's count out or something.
I don't see what the problem is.
But I feel like you might have taken advantage a little bit. You didn't run the edits past our design guy, which is just me. And you just threw your own name on this thing.
I thought, how many times have you showed me something? I'm like, yeah, it's fine.
Right. Yeah.
Never suggest anything. And this time I had something I felt very strongly about.
Right.
I wanted to make sure it happened.
Right.
Therefore,
from a design perspective, you think just a giant red X was really the wise move, though.
But it gets the point home, which is really what you need when it'll make more sense when people see it.
For a second, I thought that I had been laid off from going in Raw because I was locked out of the file. I can't edit this anymore. It's straight to our printers, so I can't do anything about it. I can't create a new one.
What would you rather I've done? Just take all the different fonts, what you wrote there, take it out, and just make the change I did?
I don't think you know how to do that, for one thing.
I do, but it's not as dramatic as doing the giant red X and then
you
my name.
Somehow took physical spray paint and put it on a digital file. I don't know how you did it. It's crazy. Anyways, we'll do the big shirt reveal later. Not in this episode. I don't know, maybe Monday. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
We'll see.
In any event, join the Friendo Club, man.
Yeah. Anyways, you want to talk about what do you want to talk about the news stories?
I think we should do what do you want to talk about right now,
All
because we ask every week on like Wednesday, if I remember. We ask the friendos. It's always like Wednesday evening. I'm like, oh fuck, I got to do this. We ask the friendos, what do you want us to talk about in the world? Because there's so much news out there, so many things on the social media that might fly under our radar because we're old. And so, you guys bring some stuff to our attention. Perhaps, for example, Skelly says Darby Allin's Steve-O interview talks about his Everest experience and why he doesn't want a title. I watched a bunch of this.
This is actually from like 3 weeks ago.
Oh, snap. Okay.
Yeah, this completely fell under our radar.
Yeah,
I watched a chunk of it too. He talks about his Everest experience, and I guess in terms of how it pertains to what we see on television, it's interesting so Steve-O asks him, are you worried about taking that long of a break and then losing your spot? And Darby's like, no, I don't care. I don't care about winning titles. He says he's happy with where he is in his life, and he just wants to go out and do the stuff that he wants to do at this juncture.
Yeah.
He says, at 32, physically he feels great, so he wants to go do these things. And if that means he's not going to, get to the top of the pro wrestling mountain, he seems totally at peace with that.
Yeah, he seems. He was like, at this age, I'm just as happy being on my property doing crazy stunts. And yeah, he seems. It's a fascinating thing when he's talking about going up Everest, the psychological impact of starting out the journey to the summit at 11:30 at night, and then you get to the point where there's just a big line of people, and he says they give 400 permits per year to climb Everest, but because there's only a 2-month window, it
gets pretty packed up there.
It gets pretty packed up there, and he says, when you start out and you're just going, you got that adrenaline going, you're always moving. He says, but being in line is the real psychological nightmare, because then You're not moving. He says, you see people up there just sort of stomping their feet and doing this just to stay motion, in movement. And so, yeah, it is. He talks about it in depth, and it's a very interesting. I didn't listen to the entire thing, but that part I did.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, talking about like, hey, I don't need my spot. I don't need the titles. And I think everybody kind of understands nobody can replace Darby Allin. There is no other Darby. He will always be incredibly appreciated by that AEW crowd and by Tony Khan. And he'll always be booked in a major way.
Yeah.
He is now. So I would imagine he seems like a guy who, that freedom means everything to him, to not have to worry about the wrestling grind and to enjoy other aspects of his life.
Yep.
That's a pretty great place to be in, especially at the age of 32 years old.
It is. It really is. Really is. Oh gosh. Alex's agent says anything and everything Matt Riddle.
So now we're going to the opposite end of what we just talked about. So there was a situation.
There's a lot.
So
with
there was like a thing that sort of happened. This had to do with Matt Riddle and a UK, but I'm getting this from WrestlingNews.co. It had a decent synopsis here, a breakdown between Matt Riddle and UK-based promotion Global Wrestling Kingdom, which is now heading towards a resolution, apparently. So the situation apparently began when Cultaholic reported that Riddle had no-showed a New Kingdom Rises, which was a charity event out of Barnsley, England, and he had not returned his deposit. He was scheduled to face friend of the show, Simon Miller, former champion,
yeah,
but was replaced by Grado. Simon Miller actually on Twitter had a little statement about this, and he says, because I guess some people were in his mentions like saying, oh, did you leak this info or something like that because he was a scheduled opponent? Simon Miller said, no, I don't do that. I was actually really excited when I found out it was Grado because I love Grado. Who doesn't? The event was held to support charities for homeless veterans and survivors of bereavement by suicide. So it sounds like a great cause here. In a new statement now, Global Wrestling Kingdom confirmed that the financial aspect of the dispute is being resolved. They say Mr. Riddle has now paid back his deposit and has given us his word that he will reimburse his expenses too. Riddle had responded to the initial report with a video on his social media where he claimed he did not no-show the event, but rather chose not to attend after the promotion failed to meet his travel and booking requirements. He also claimed that the show was not originally a charity event and that this aspect was added at the last minute. Global Wrestling Kingdom has stated that the charity aspect of the show was announced back in July. Now, if that's it, that's whatever. But like Matt Riddle also posted a video where he just completely burns things down, calls everybody an idiot, says, just like the people who believed all that Me Too stuff. And then I saw, and I don't know when this clip was, I'm assuming it's recent, but he did like a TMZ interview where he was talking shit about AJ Lee as well. He seemingly has like an obsession with CM Punk.
Yeah, he was talking shit about CM Punk, as well, and some other interview.
This guy went from like the highest of highs to now, like, I don't know if what he's doing right now could really be considered winning. But yeah, it's just, he's seemingly kind of a mess. And that's sort of an understatement.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Schwaggy here says Nick Hogan suing Bubba the Love Sponge for making a documentary about the Gawker incident. So my understanding is that Nick is suing under the grounds of copyright and trademark infringement because they use in this documentary, stuff that the Hogan estate now owns the intellectual property rights to, and so Nick is using that as a means to try to stop the release of this documentary.
Is there any, I didn't do any research on this one. To your knowledge, is there supposed to be stuff that is especially explosive? I'm assuming like he's doing this because it's going to paint Hogan in a not terribly great light.
Yeah, I would imagine that's probably the deal here. What I read about it, 'cause it was. So there's two kind of aspects of it. One is what I mentioned, the intellectual property rights, and the second is Nick stated in the suit that it would release the documentary would violate the settlement that Hogan and Bubba had back in 2012, but no specifics regarding what that would be.
Okay. All right. Well, that'll be interesting to see how that turns out. Go Birds XTL says DIY returning to NXT and seemingly setting up a match with Trick and Mello. Did Mello show up too?
No, so DIY showed up, attacked Trick, and then in a backstage segment, Trick pretty much says that he's got some backup too. The quote is, "DIY, what do they think? I'm going to let that slide. Y'all the only two around here with some history. Don't worry about them. We'll see you next week."
Okay. Well, that's cool. I don't watch NXT. I did watch Collision though. Yeah, man. I was sitting there, I was doing like some work of some sort. I don't know what I was doing. I think I was like, man, I came out with a new jersey. Oh, I think I sent it to you. It's got elephant print on it.
Yeah.
God damn, that thing is gorgeous. I was gonna
the magenta one, right?
Yeah, I was gonna use it for the September predictions challenge, but then I was like, I kind of just want to sell this one.
Yeah.
But anyways, and so yeah, I turned it on. I was like, hey, I'm gonna check out Collision. And you know what made me think about it? It made me turn it on. Is that they're running a clone angle with hologram.
That's right.
And I was like, oh shit, I got to get in on this. And so like hologram comes out, has a fucking banger ass pay-per-view level match with Jay Lethal. Of course,
that's probably really good.
Of course, beats him because he's hologram.
Yeah, he's undefeated.
But then afterwards, the lights flicker. They go down, and then we see like the hologram loading screen on the Tron. But then it turns from like blue, font into like red, and it says initiate clone, but like there's no E, so it's CLON, but it's got the O through it, so it's still like O sound.
Yeah.
So hologram's getting a clone.
That's cool. Apparently it's a res.
It's a res, yeah. But in the universe, and I'm thinking to myself, this is the coolest thing AEW's doing right now. Everything should be like this. It should I'm telling you, man, if you and I, if we ever find time in our schedules to become full-on bookers for Action Coast Wrestling, everybody's getting new gimmicks.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody. I'm going to be like, you're getting a new gimmick, you're getting a new gimmick, and we're going to come up with complete backstories for everybody.
Yeah.
That's what you should do. If you're a wrestler, Vince had it right, man. He was like, I don't care what you've done on the outside world. I'm going to give you a brand new gimmick.
Usually a vocational gimmick, but yeah.
Conan, you're Max Moon.
Yeah.
And then Paul Diamond, you're Max Moon.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Isaac Yankem, DDS, hell yeah. And then you're Kane. Oh my God, so imaginative. Do that shit. Hell yeah, do that shit. It's just
Evil
the Undertaker.
Dennis, like
what a
Vince
great
just
way.
watched Little Shop of Horrors and be like, that's a wrestling character right there.
Right. Yeah, exactly. The crazy Steve Martin. Calling up Mark Calloway, Mean Mark Callis. He didn't bring in Mean Mark Callis. He says, is this the Undertaker? Yeah, man. I wonder if Tony Khan called up Aramis, says, is this fucking hologram? Hologram was like, okay, what?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I want to be calling up Magnum AD. Be like, is this Butch Bacon?
Like, what? Click.
Call up Joe DeSoul. Be like, is this Captain Action Coast? We got to have a Captain Action Coast.
Absolutely. Absolutely. David Matushek here says Dwayne Johnson's performance in The Smashing Machine starting buzz around an Oscar nomination. Apparently he got a 15-minute standing ovation that made Dwayne very emotional.
Man, I feel like this is going to be... I love the Safdies. I do. But like everything I've seen out of this, it just looks like normal fighter guy movie where he overcomes shit and he cries probably, and it's very emotional. I'm like, God damn, I've seen this kind of stuff before. How about this? They should have put Dwayne The Rock Johnson in like a sequel to Good Time. That movie was the fucking bomb, man. That movie's awesome. I love that shit.
What about a sequel to Uncut Gems?
Yes. Yeah, exactly. He takes over the shop, spoiler alert, because the Adam Sandler character,
Yeah.
you know?
And he can kind of, we saw him super anxious in Southland Tales.
Yeah, right.
He
Yeah.
was super anxious in that movie.
Yeah, I don't need to see another fighter movie. I know it's the same template every time.
I guess
Goes through harrowing shit.
The difference is in the details, the performances, how it's
Yeah,
photographed.
maybe. But I don't know. Give me something. Do something new, man. Like this Mark Carr. How about you kayfabe his origins? He's a time traveler. How about that?
There we go.
Then I'm interested. Safdie Brothers time travel movie.
How about this? He started cloning himself, so every fight there's a fresh.
It's
Mark
like
Carr.
a bathtub clone, like in that Black Mirror episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every fight, it's like brand new body. Ready
A
to fight.
Safdie Brothers body horror movie. That's what I want to see, man.
Yep.
But with Dwayne Johnson. Sign me. Are you kidding me? Sign me up for that.
How about this? There's ill effects from the cloning process, so he starts cloning the clones.
Okay.
Dude,
now it's just multiplicity.
And each copy, it's just not the same. Actually.
But again, a Safdie Brothers bathtub clone multiplicity type movie with Dwayne Johnson as Mark Carr. Yeah, I'm in on that. Sign me up.
There we go.
But I was telling you, so we got a new Friendo Club video coming out later on today where we look at like Twitter and stuff. And I had mentioned this and that. Do you think the WWE, now that Dwayne Johnson's lost like 1 million pounds of muscle, do you think that they're probably like, well, I guess we don't have to worry about him coming in and trying to do a match. We can just go ahead with our what we want to do.
Yeah. Unless, like I said then, that he's going to adapt his style.
Oh, right, yeah.
High-flying rock.
Yeah.
You can get in there and start busting out some 450s.
That'd be fucking sick. Do one of those things where he's climbing up the ropes and dude's holding him and then he gets down. Hip toss or whatever the fuck.
He starts doing the people's elbow as a springboard elbow off the top rope.
A 450 people's elbow?
Yeah.
That'd be
standing
fucking
450 people's elbow. Yeah.
That'd be fucking sick. See,
look at this. We're innovating left and right today.
Bro, we're on today. We are on today. Yeah, you got to Triple H. You got to be like, we're good. He's not going to do anything. And he comes in. He's like, Triple H, listen, Paul. I got the Hunter. I got some new moves. I got a 630, baby. That's right. Line up Cody for me. I'm going to hit him with a 630.
630. If you smell what The Rock is cooking.
Yep.
All right, let's talk Dynamite. As we mentioned earlier, there's 3 matches confirmed for All Out when the show's 16 days away.
Dude, I thought for sure that we were going to get like a plethora of matches set up on Dynamite this week, but not
really.
They did this though. They wrote off seemingly. Is Kenny out of All Out? Because boy, oh boy, they made a big spectacle.
Seems like it. You know, there was the report not too long ago about Kenny being in a great deal of discomfort, which he probably will be for, the style he wrestled. It eventually catches up to you, unfortunately. So as long as he's an active competitor, he's probably going to be dealing with some pain in his life, which is a bummer. But yeah, it seemed like they wrote him out to build to seemingly Hangman taking on Kyle Fletcher. That's the vibe I got from the end of Dynamite. But the thing is, Mark Briscoe wants a match against Kyle Fletcher for that TNT title. But Mark Briscoe has to beat Takeshita on Collision this Saturday to get that match. So is this going to be a situation where Briscoe falls short, lose to Takeshita, because Takeshita should not be losing a whole lot, of any matches, ahead of challenging for the IWGP World Heavyweight title next month. So then Fletcher faces Hangman for the title at All Out. Does that make more sense? Because everything about the end of this, between Fletcher laying out Kenny, holding the title up, looking over, talking shit to Hangman, seems to be the course they're taking. Okada wasn't involved in this. Takeshita wasn't involved.
It kind of feels like they're going to Okada and Takeshita because like he was talking shit about him and it's his own stablemate, which is an interesting dynamic. Yeah, I don't know. They booked Briscoe pretty decently.
Yeah.
But you're right about Takeshita. They also, he lost against Bandito for the Ring of Honor title, but they booked Bandito pretty good too. He's a current tag champion
champ now, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, again, it feels very. Look, the match will be great, but it lacks marquee value. Let me ask you this: do you think FTR versus Cope and Christian? You think that might main event?
It could.
It definitely could.
It could. Yeah,
I think it probably should over Hangman Fletcher if that's the case. Hangman Fletcher is going to be it's going to be a really good match.
It's going to be a fantastic bout. But yeah, in terms of, and that's kind of like I was wondering if that might have been part of the reason. I know they you can talk about the HBO Max deal or how the afternoon pay-per-views have performed, but if it's a situation where Tony Khan had stuff laid out for a while, it's like looking at his card for All Out. It's like, well, from the match quality, it's going to be really good. Does it have the marquee value or marquee power to go toe-to-toe with WWE? Maybe not. So let's move the start time earlier in the day. We could focus on the HBO Max launch. And if they want to, have FTR versus Cope and Christian possibly main event. We don't know who Tony's taking on. We don't know who Mercedes is going to face. Like, there's a lot of matches. Oh, we do know who Mercedes.
No, Mercedes has Riho. Yeah,
that's right. So we don't know who Tony's taking on. We don't know for sure who Hangman's taking on. You can speculate Fletcher. I feel like there's probably a few matches that could main event potentially over Hangman and Kyle Fletcher, depending on who's in them.
Given that they're in Toronto, I suspect that would make more of a reason to do FTR versus Christian and Cope as well. But yeah, I mean, so they did. I love that they're building up Fletcher to be a big bad. I thought that he's number one. That dude has got a face of a villain. He really does, and he's got so much charisma. The way they present him, even in that rinky-dink little ECW arena. He comes out, hey, solve this beef, this Twitter beef for me.
Okay.
For the friendos, all right? I noticed this on Twitter this morning. Somebody had asked Taz, hey, why wasn't your 2300 Arena Hall of Fame induction broadcast on TV? Taz said, and I'm paraphrasing everything here, Taz said, I didn't want to take away TV time from anybody else. And I think that's a great, that's a great philosophy to have. Those other guys, Dave Meltzer, chimed in and said, I understand the future is important, but honoring your past is important as well, meaning you should have done this on TV. And Taz said, I get to decide how this is presented, nobody else, and this is what I've elected to do. So what is your take on this?
Oh, hats off to Taz for wanting TV time to be dedicated to building the stories they're telling on TV, and every second of TV time is precious. And I appreciate Taz's career and what he's done and what he continues to do, and the importance that he had to ECW while their home was the ECW arena. And I'm sure the honor that was bestowed upon him, he probably it probably meant a lot to him. But, he's invested in the future of AEW, seemingly. And the future of AEW is focusing on TV time on telling the stories they're telling now. And so, hats off to Taz. Seriously, hats off to Taz. I think that's a quality move on his part.
If you're Tony Khan, you don't insist. You don't say, hey, you know what? This is a big deal, and I know you're being like good guy Taz right now, but I feel like it's important to put it out there that we're honoring you, and it could be. I mean, honestly, if I'm Tony Khan, I'm looking at it this way exclusively. Will it draw eyeballs?
Yeah, I understand
hey,
that part
Taz,
of it.
this is going to do a big number. I don't think it would, though. And
I don't think it would.
No disrespect to, I love Taz. I think he's great.
He's awesome.
And he deserves whatever this is. But Hall of Fame inductions in the middle of an episode, it just doesn't do anything for me,
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. And if you want to watch it, I think it's on AEW's YouTube channel. It's available to watch. It's not like it's going in the vault. You'll never get to see it.
Yeah. That's great. Yeah.
So no, I think it's a stand-up move from Taz, and if Tony Khan made any effort to insist that it goes on TV, and Taz was very firm on like, no, I don't want to take TV time away from everybody wrestling now. I'm happy that Tony Khan listened to him.
See, I wouldn't mind seeing the train wreck of Taz not wanting to be in there, but Tony Khan being like, I'm your boss, you're going to get in there. It's going to do a big rating.
And then I guess the other thing is, well, can you run an angle during the Hall of Fame thing? How often does that come off well?
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's
And I think Taz is coming off double knee replacement not that long ago, or he was out for a stretch.
Well, you could do like a hook angle.
Yeah.
But like, that kind of diminishes the whole thing, anyways.
Exactly. Then it's like, oh, this is just a storytelling mechanic as opposed to really honoring him.
Yeah.
So
now I'm with you on that one. I just thought it was an interesting discussion.
Yeah.
But yeah. So basically, what went down the way this went down in the main event, we had the Young Bucks, Kyle Fletcher, Josh Alexander taking on
All-Star 8-man tag, man.
Jet Speed. Did they specify that money was on the line for this one?
No, there's no money on the line here.
They're all rich, anyways. Kenny Omega and Hangman Page. Well, I don't know about Jet Speed and Josh Alexander, but the other guys are probably rich. Towards the end of the match, we got Page and Kenny standing across the ring from the Young Bucks. Big deal. They trade shots. Lots of history there. Page looks for a buckshot on Matt, misses that. Nick looks for a buckshot on Page, hits Matt instead. Page hits Nick with a buckshot. Kenny hits Matt with a V-trigger. Page and Kenny look for their finish, but Nick pulls Matt out of the way. Page and Kenny put on the brakes, eat some super kicks from the Bucks. Page and Kenny respond with clotheslines. Fletcher comes in, trades some shots with Hangman, hits a half-and-half suplex. Page looks for a deadeye, but Fletcher escapes. And then eventually, Fletcher. So we have the Bucks hit Mike Bailey with some super kicks. Kenny gets a super kick in. Nick takes out Kenny and Hangman. Young Bucks and Alexander hit a Meltzer driver on Knight. Fletcher follows with a brainbuster for the win. So afterwards, Fletcher and Alexander both lay into Page and Omega. The Young Bucks and Jet Speed brawl up the ramp. They're out of it. Rocky Romero and Lance Archer join in on the beatdown. Rocky sets up a chair as Archer chucks Kenny out of the ring. Kyle hits Hangman with a brainbuster on the chair. That was rough. Kenny gets back in the ring to cover up Page, while Lance and Rocky get a table from under the ring. Kyle picks him up. Alexander kicks him in the gut. Kenny tries to fight back until Kyle hits him in the gut with a chair. Kyle brings Kenny over to the apron and hits a brainbuster off the apron through the table on the floor. And they make a big deal about this. What's-his-face? Doc Samson comes down. Fletcher grabs his headset and yells into the mic, "Oh, he's dead. And they're all freaking out. I think afterwards Tony Khan even came out. They made a big deal about this.
They did. So yeah, it seems like I wouldn't be surprised if no later than next week on Dynamite, Hangman comes out with the mic, and says, Fletcher, you took out Kenny. I got beef. I want you at All Out.
Yeah.
I thought they could do, and I don't know if they would. You do Fletcher, you do Hangman, and you do Mark Briscoe. You do the 2 out of 3 falls deal with first fall, one title, second fall, the other title.
Oh, there you go.
That way Briscoe gets his match against Fletcher. Hangman gets his match against Fletcher as well.
That's cool. I mean, that's really diving deep in terms of the marquee value. That's a weird match right there.
It is.
But you got Edge and Christian up there at the top. Doesn't matter. And if you're going to get weird, might as well get weird now.
Exactly.
It's your backlash.
And when Hangman was feuding with MJF, his paths crossed with Briscoe too. So I mean, I don't think it's going to happen, but if they did announce that, it would like totally shock me.
Yeah, the whole Briscoe Takeshita Fletcher thing is kind of oddball.
Maybe they're thinking, well, we want to put some adversity in front of Briscoe now because the long-term goal is eventually get him that match with Fletcher.
Yeah, that could be. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
I don't know. While Hangman and friends are feuding with the Callis family, we got Darby still feuding with the Death Riders, and Hook has a beef with the Ops. So, opens the show. We got Gabe Kidd interrupting commentary. He says, Darby, you're on my time, and where are you? He says, we can all see that this dump isn't large enough for him to be up in the rafters. Where are you? So Darby appears out of nowhere, starts choking out Kidd.
You think Tony Khan pulled Gabe Kidd aside afterwards, like, dude, don't mention how small this venue is.
Oh, that was plainly obvious on TV. It's not the largest place.
It is.
So
it's not the largest place, and then they also have an entrance that looks completely empty.
I know. So there's a huge brawl. Darby hits Kid with a coffin drop on the floor. Is looking for another splash. Darby catches him. Kid catches him with a rear naked choke. So then Darby gouges Kid's eyes to break out of that. Yuta hits the ring. Darby knocks him to the floor. Hits the springboard coffin drop on Kid. And then Darby gets the skateboard with the thumbtacks on the bottom. He hits Yuta with that. And then is looking to hit Kid with it. Claudio, Marina, and Mox come to ringside. Lights come down. Lights come back up. Hook signal.
Hook signal.
So Hook starts to ambulate towards the ring slowly, and then Joe and Hobbs just sprint right past him, start fighting with the Death Riders. So we get this huge brawl. Willow comes out. So Darby and Gabe Kidd brawl in through the crowd. Yuta and Hook fight backstage, and the camera cuts backstage where Gabe Kidd is choking out Darby. Well, he lets go, gets a hammer, swings at Darby, but Darby moves and runs to a truck. He gets some powder, throws it in Gabe Kidd's eyes, puts like the rag that he's been using, I guess, Darby, over Kid's mouth. So he passes out, stuffs him in a body bag. The body bag's attached to a truck with a chain. So then Darby gets in the truck and drives off.
Yeah, it was a great visual. And then, of course, because it's like Darby driving, you're not sure if, like, oh, is he going to go a little too fast? Is this
it's going to be like the end of a Toonces skit.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Toonces, no.
Driving off a cliff.
Yeah, I like the intensity of this. Kid's a scary dude, especially with a hammer. He's like, oh, Darby,
Yeah.
And then Darby does the chloroform bit, which I love that in wrestling. I think that's awesome. We need more of that, too.
Later we got an interview with the Ops with Joe and Hobbs. So Renee asks him about Hook. And Joe says, I get it. You have to ask where Hook stands with us. And then Hook steps in. And he says, I don't need you to fight my battles for me. You replaced me before my body even got cold. And Hobbs is like, man, I've always had your back. And Joe says, no, it's all right. We were presented with an opportunity. You weren't ready. Hobbs was. He stepped in so we could take that opportunity. He said, Joe says, we didn't come out to save you, Hook. We came out to handle our own business. He says, I'm the one that made the call for Hobbs to join the group. And he says, at one point, Hook, you're going to need help. And whether you want it or not, we're still going to have your back.
Good guy Joe right there. Hey, man, I don't care what you say. I'm still going to help you.
Yep.
So later on, we had Claudio and Yuta challenging Brodito for the tag titles. Let's see here. Bandito ends up getting the win on Yuta with a 21 plex. But Mox comes down. Darby comes in, lays him out. So there was like some overbooking here. So, yeah, I mean, it definitely seems we're getting Mox versus Darby. I don't know why they haven't just simply announced this. We're getting Mox versus Darby.
It's happening. We had Toni Storm do the promo where she's looking for a new challenger. So she says, if this building could speak, it would never shut up. Tales of blood, sweat, and debauchery. Insanity is relative, so I promise to be the most batshit bitch to ever piss in this sink. She says, I remain a character in search of a plot. No forever champion or belt collector could take my title. It's my golden cross to bear. So I'm begging every woman with a pulse to come and play a part in the greatest show on earth. Give me your best, your worst, and everything in between. But don't worry, darlings. God doesn't judge. That's my job.
Who the hell is she going to take on it all out?
I don't know. Like, I feel like she's kind of more or less beat everybody. They're going to bring sign somebody, bring somebody in from outside of AEW?
Yeah, I don't know.
Gosh, yeah, I don't know either.
Are there any Canadians out there?
I don't know.
There's like nobody obvious. I don't think. What was that?
Although I think on Collision she's in a tag match opposite Tekla's faction, so maybe they'll do Tekla.
Oh yeah, they could do the Tekla. Yeah, that's a possibility. Anyways, let's see here. So Cope comes out for a promo. Let's talk about FTR versus Cope and Christian. Cope comes out for a promo, but thank God he gets attacked before he's able to talk by FTR. Christian runs to the ring, even up the odds. Fight spills to the floor. Eventually, the Ring of Honor locker room spills out to break up the brawl. Cope and Christian get escorted up the ramp. FTR lays out.
I didn't catch his name. There's a dude. There's a couple dudes that were involved in this. One of them gets laid out with the pile driver, and then someone else gets takes offense to that and gets in FTR's face, starts punching on Dax. And then so later on, FTR and Stoke have a promo backstage.
Yeah.
And while Stokely's talking, FTR sees that dude and is like, come over here. Come over here. And he comes over and is like, oh, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done that. And Cash runs him down and says, go find a tag partner. We'll see you on Saturday. I didn't catch the name, though.
No, neither did I. He looked a little bit like Crash Holly. I mean, I know it's not Crash Holly, but okay. So on Collision, we had Tony Storm taking on Billy Starks, Sky Blue, and Julia Hart.
Okay, so not Tekla in the match, but
right, but her faction was in the match.
2/3 of the Triangle of Madness.
Yeah, which could indicate that was the deal. And then she teamed with Queen Aminata and Mina Shirakawa. I doubt it's going to be either of them because she was teaming with them. She already faced Billy Starks. So you have Athena's girl and you've got Tekla's people.
Yeah.
She already did Athena. So Tekla could make sense. But do you think, I mean, I guess they could have Tekla lose.
I mean, it could be a situation like what they did with Megan Bayne. Bring her in, have her win some matches, put her
takes her to the limit.
Yeah. Has a feud against Tony. Shows that she can be a main event level talent. Ultimately losing to Tony. And then, get her involved in some stories to eventually bring her back up to that point.
Mercedes Moné tapped out against Alex Windsor. Unfortunately, it was on the outside of the ring. They had a match where, because Alex Windsor on Collision had a promo, which I watched because I watched Collision this week.
Look at you.
Appreciate this because it's probably the one time I'm going to end up watching Collision. But I did it this week. Where Alex was like, I tapped you out in that last match. It just wasn't it was like a tag match or whatever it was. And then she was like, or it was the 4-way. And she was like, I could beat you now. And then Mercedes had responded to that. And then, so they have this match. And then she did get her to tap out, but it was on the outside of the ring. And then on the inside of the ring, Monet got a big old roll up. So, kind of a bit of a protected, she didn't just get completely whooped. She had to sink in a deep roll up on Alex Windsor to get the win here. So Alex Windsor looked really good in this match.
She did. I kind of like low key the story they're doing with Mercedes in these title defenses where she's just barely eking out victory.
He's going to catch up with her eventually, you would think.
Yeah.
On the other hand, she has. I feel like we're going to get the Ultimo Dragon picture before that happens.
We are. Then maybe now with the hubris of being Ultimo Monet. Maybe that's going to be
Ultimo
the undoing.
Monet.
There you go. Her undoing as it relates to being TBS champion. So after the match, Alex Windsor offers her hand. Mercedes flips her off instead. So Windsor takes her down, look for a sharpshooter, but Mercedes reverses it into a statement maker, and that's when Riho's music hits. She breaks up the statement maker with a double stomp off the top, and then drop kicks Monet out of the ring. So that's confirmed for All Out. That'll be a really good match.
Yeah, that's gonna be a really good one. Yeah.
We mentioned earlier Okada seemingly kind of low-key feuding with the stablemate Takeshita. So Renee interviews Okada, asks, what's with this tension between you and Takeshita? And Okada says, Takeshita calls himself the Alpha, but I'm the Rainmaker, and I'm the top dog in the Callis family. So they got beef over who's number one dude in Callis family. I mean, meanwhile, right now, Kyle Fletcher is kind of being positioned as number one dude in Callis family.
Well, this interview was in a shady-looking parking lot. That doesn't, to me, scream, I'm an alpha. On the other hand, Okada has, in fact, surrounded himself with other alphas. So maybe that does make him an alpha.
Maybe.
But if it's a whole bunch of alphas.
Then who, yeah.
Can we power rank the alphas in the Callis family, please?
Based on how they're presented on TV, or what we actually, based on our criteria?
Those are two different things. Based on how they're presented, would you say Kyle Fletcher is the alpha?
He just laid out Kenny Omega. He's probably be facing Hangman for the AEW title at All Out.
But once he loses that...
We're talking about right now, aren't we?
Yeah, but you can extrapolate. He's going to lose. He's being set up for Hangman to lose to. They wouldn't do that to Okada right now. On the other hand, Okada was in a sketchy parking lot for his interview. On the other hand, he is a unified champion. He beat Swerve Strickland and Kenny. And on top of that, he is the Rainmaker. Yeah.
Well, then Takeshita just won the G1, most grueling tournament in all of wrestling.
Yeah, but he's about to lose to Mark Briscoe.
I don't know. I don't think he's going to lose to Mark Briscoe. I think
he lost to a tag team wrestler, man.
Well, at the time, Brodito wasn't a tag champion.
A lot of caveats.
Bandito.
A lot of Brodito.
So I say it's not a clear-cut case with any of them. Maybe the real answer is Rocky Romero, Steve.
Rocky cracks me up. I was so hoping because on was it last night that Mark Briscoe took on Lance Archer? Yeah. But it was Rocky was stepping up. I was like, come on, Rocky. Get in there. I think Rocky is low-key the alpha because he's also, we know, behind the scenes, a power broker.
Yeah.
You know. And he's friend of the show. He's been on the show before.
He has.
He was like, I'll never forget. He said, man, you guys are really high in the podcast rankings, and yet I've never heard of you. Oh, man. Anyways.
Well, Rocky's doing his research, though.
He is doing his research. He's like, who the hell are these knuckleheads?
Yep.
I've never heard of them. Bunch of idiots. Yeah, man, we like it that way.
Yep. So they set up Ricochet and Gates of Agony versus Hurt Syndicate. So it starts with a Ricochet and Gates of Agony promo. And
boy, Ricochet, this was not Ricochet's finest promo, right? I think they should have done like a couple more takes of this particular thing. We're not going to go through this because it was boring as hell.
Well, he pretty much just says my beef with them predates AEW.
Yeah.
I want a match. And then later on, Hurt Syndicate responds, and MVP asks what happens to Ricochet. You used to be a dynamic wrestler, and now you're a whining hater. And then he says, you're setting a terrible example for Gates of Agony. He says, Gates of Agony, don't let Ricochet turn your career into jokes. He accepts the challenge. So we're getting a trios match.
He said, Ricochet, the great thing about you, man, is that you got two guys on your squad that can eat a pin. Because we don't like to do that here at the Hurt Syndicate.
So the aforementioned...
Hey, dude, why? Come on, like, why is it? Shouldn't these Hurt Syndicate guys be just horny to get their titles back, dude?
You'd think so.
You'd think so,
I guess they
right?
want to get revenge against the people who cost them the titles first.
At least say, hey, you cost us the thing that we appreciate, that we will want most, the tag titles. We're going to go
You really
right
think
back
those are the
them.
titles that they want most in AEW?
I mean, if somebody screwed me out of a possession, yeah, I'd want that back just on principle alone.
Maybe Bob Lashley's like, finally got rid of that tag title. Maybe I can go for some singles titles now.
That could be. What's Shelton Benjamin thinking then?
Why can't he challenge for singles titles too?
There's no Bob Lashley. I love Shelton Benjamin.
Future TNT champion Shelton Benjamin. So we had Mark Briscoe. He's continuing his quest for the TNT championship. Speaking of that title, so he comes to the ring for a promo. And he says he talks up the ECW arena and says his focus is on Fletcher and the TNT title. And said, unfortunately, got to deal with Don Callis. And apparently Callis, I think on Collision, said that Briscoe has to beat a member of the Callis family to earn a TNT title shot. So he says, Callis, choose your man. So Don walks out with Romero and Lance Archer. And the emphasis that Callis put on Mark's name during the course of this, like every time he could say Mark. That was interesting. So anyways.
It's a...
Yeah. He's calling Mark a Mark.
It's double meaning.
Yeah.
It means a rube.
So he says if you want your answer, you're not going to get one. You got a match on Collision against Takeshita. And Briscoe's like, I'm here to fight. Let's have a match now. And then Rocky takes his jacket off. He's willing to step up, but Callis says, no, Archer, you get in there. Maybe Callis should have sent Rocky in because Briscoe gets the win after a sunset flip powerbomb and then a froggy bow.
Yeah. So, we'll see how this whole Briscoe situation works out. The Death Riders might be getting a new member, maybe. So Renee has an interview with Harley Cameron and Chris Statlander trying to come up with a name for the tag team, and Statlander's not having it. She's like, "Hey, look, let's just be us." Talks about Harley Cameron and that mask not really helping her out much, and then Wheeler Yuta walks in. "Hey, Chris, from Mox, we've got your back." And then Marina shows up, and she just gets in Stat's face, and she says, "Tell our friend that I got the message."
I did like where Harley was saying, this mask doesn't protect me.
Yeah.
And Statlander says, the wrath isn't in the mask, it's within you. And so Harley takes the mask off and says, "Yeah, we're undefeated and headed straight to the top. Give us Brodito."
Yeah. Harley's great, man.
She's
awesome.
Great.
She's awesome. Oh, man. Would you like to answer some questions?
Sure.
All right. We'll go ahead and answer some questions.
Let's just jump right to this one. This will be fun. Diehard Homer, Greg Morris, says, non-wrestling related Mount Rushmore idea, sci-fi movies that aren't Star Wars or Star Trek.
Man, that's something we should add to our Mount Rushmore series over at Friendo Club, which
Just
there's a
Mount
new
Rushmore
one
of
out right
anything.
now.
Yeah.
Pro wrestling themes. But we should always do like a very quick speed run of some non-wrestling
ideas.
Mount Rushmore.
All right, off the top of my head.
What is this one? Sci-fi movies?
That aren't Star Wars or Star Trek. So I put Alphaville on there because that inspired so much. No,
Oh, shit.
probably Metropolis. Put that on there.
The one, what's the one called? With the dude, the moon, and you see the rocket hit the guy in the face.
Oh, yeah.
That one.
I'll say Metropolis. I'll say
You and I,
Alphaville.
we're just going to be trying to find the most obscure
I know.
historical reference.
Solaris. I don't know.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I'll do Metropolis. I'll do Alphaville. 2001. And then... let me think. The last one would be Preservation, right?
Yeah. All right. So I've got the moon one.
Yeah.
I've got 2001. That's got to be on there.
Oh, yeah.
I'll put the Matrix on there because that
Matrix
shit
is good.
blew up the sci-fi
Yeah.
genre. And then you know what other one I'll go with? Primer.
Primer's
Because
good.
I feel like it kind of ushered in like a DIY sci-fi approach
Yeah.
to filmmaking. Plus, good luck figuring that one out.
Yeah, you need a chart to...
I get through like 80% of... I love Primer, by the way. It's
great.
It's so fucking good. The one he did afterwards is like, good luck figuring that one out.
Oh, Upstream Color?
Color, yeah.
Yeah.
But Primer is so damn good. And I get through like 80% of that movie, and I'm on board. I'm like, okay, I'm barely hanging on, but I'm getting it. And then it comes down to like the last 20, 15 minutes of the movie. I'm like, I'm fucking so lost right now. I can't figure this thing out at all.
It's all the copies.
Yeah.
That's where it gets really confusing.
Yeah. It turns into a mess. But it's so damn good because I know the filmmaker knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
You know, like they've established that. It's so good.
Yeah. He's got a chart. Moses Supposes says, another non-wrestling question. What is your favorite grunge music video? What a great question.
It's not Them Bones. That was so funny because you and I had the discussion about Them Bones.
Yeah.
And then the video came on, just happens. I didn't like load it up that day. It came on happenstance on Pluto TV. And I was like, this is the fucking worst thing. Like, they totally have a Planet Hell set going. And I'm like, I know this was on somebody knew somebody. Hey, can we film this music video on this unused Star Trek set for the day? Sure. I guarantee you that should happen.
It's entirely possible.
It's not that one. I hate the Black Hole Sun video. I think it's ugly as hell.
Yeah.
In fact, Soundgarden in general kind of don't have great music videos. I mean, Jeremy's a goddamn work of art, but I think mine, because it's really unsettling, would probably be Heart-Shaped Box.
That's a good one.
It's such a visually speaking, it's a
Yeah.
beautiful video. And it's also got some like shit in there that it's like, oh my God, this is unsettling as hell.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought of that one, and then I thought of Nirvana's In Bloom.
Oh, I love that one. That's a really good one.
That's a good one.
It's got like the old TV stuff going on.
Yeah.
I like that one. That's a really good one too. Wood is beautifully filmed as well. It's like they use 35 millimeter for that or something.
Yeah, it's just like a performance video, you know.
It is, but like you rarely see videos that just look that good, you know? It's like they could have easily shot that on dog shit and it'd be the same video basically, but it's like, God damn, this actually looks like a film.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Cameron Crowe did that one or what the situation was,
I don't
but
think so. I'll double check.
it looked really good. I always felt like because it was around the same time, I think, as Singles.
Yeah.
Josh says, I wanted to take...
It was co-directed by Cameron Crowe.
Okay, that's what I thought. I remember that.
Josh Taft.
This Josh says, I want to take my son to the SmackDown in Chicago, but with the tickets being ridiculously expensive, I decided to take him to the Fan Expo in Chicago a few weeks back and take a picture with John Cena instead. Would you have done the same? I don't like waiting in line, so no. Although, if my kid liked John Cena, I would have considered it maybe. But I definitely would not have paid money to go to a WWE show because it's way too expensive for what you're getting.
Yeah, yeah. If the better value proposition for you is the Fan Expo and the Cena meet and greet, then yes, you made the right decision.
On top of that, I just know if I took my kid to a WWE show, I'd be sat next to some jackass who was saying out-of-pocket shit. Yep. And I can't stand that stuff.
Yeah, I can't stand that either. Posh Kenneth asks, what do you suppose Triple H feels is most anxiety-inducing part of his job responsibilities under TKO? It's do with the press conferences. And that's why they don't do them anymore.
Yeah, good for him. He was able to get that off his schedule. Probably he's like, I hate these fucking things. The most stress-inducing?
Anxiety-inducing, so.
Anxiety, okay. I think it would be trying to figure out Ed Koski's suggestions.
Oh, it's probably anytime he gets a phone call from The Rock.
Well, I was going to say that too, yeah. It'd be Brian Gewirtz, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Is he coming back? Look at him. He looks like a, 98-pound weakling. He can't come back. Yeah, but he wants to be a general manager for WrestleMania season. Oh, God, here we go.
Yep.
DeKennedy says, if and when AJ Lee comes back, who are the first few wrestlers you want her to feud with?
Well, Becky will be one. It'll be really good. Her versus Roxanne Perez.
Oh, that'd be cool.
That would be awesome.
That'd be good. Her and Lyra Valkyria.
Yeah, that'd be good too. Josh M here says, should WWE be comfortable giving their faces clean losses? No rib tape, no props, just clean, no interference loss inside the ring. It happens just not that often.
Man, there's a reason they do interference shit. You can't be jobbing out your people like that. You can't be. I know he's talking about Jey Uso. You can't be jobbing out Jey Uso like that. It's got to feel special. He's really popular.
I mean, if there's meaning to the loss and it leads to something, then go ahead and do it.
Man, WWE's not doing meaning to losses. They don't do that shit.
I know they don't do that.
Ryan Big Dog Hansen says, it's War Games for the Friendos. Create your team using one guy from the 80s, one from the 90s, one from the 2000s, and one from the 2010s, along with one wild card from any time.
All right, from the 80s, I'll go with Macho Man.
Okay.
From the 90s, I'll do Shawn Michaels.
Okay.
From the 2000s?
Yeah.
Let's do CM Punk.
Okay.
And then the 2010s?
Yeah.
Let's do, gosh. It could be from any company?
Yeah, dude.
Let's go. Tanahashi.
Okay. Go Ace.
So he can have that moment in the prime of his career as opposed to
Oh, yeah. You don't want
year.
the Cheeks? You don't want Cheeks Tanahashi?
No, I'm not talking about Cheeks Tanahashi. He wants to do that spot off the top of the cage at Forbidden Door, and they were like, no, don't do it.
Oh, yeah. Good point.
Essentially, I'm trying to find as a team, maybe I should do Rey Mysterio instead of Phil. So we could do, I remember my team does a move off the top of the cage.
Okay.
That's good. Oh, I want Elix Skipper on my team.
Okay. I think that'd be the 2000s.
Yeah.
So you get rid of Phil, Who's your 2010s guy?
Tanahashi.
Okay. All right. I was just trying to counter your team because you just jumped. You didn't even let me do my 80s or 90s. You just jumped.
Yeah, I did.
So to counter Savage, I'm going to bring Hogan.
Okay.
And then to counter who you have, Brett?
Shawn Michaels.
Oh, you have Shawn Michaels. Oof. Shawn never jobbed to Brett, so I'm not going to bring Brett to that.
Got to do Razor.
Hogan can take out both Macho and HBK.
I mean,
and HBK will be bumping like crazy for Hogan. Razor. There you go. Scott Hall. That's my 90s. And then one from the 2000s. Who do you have? You have Tanahashi?
No, I have Elix Skipper as for the 2000s.
Okay. AJ Styles.
Okay, good.
And then
Tanahashi.
You got Tanahashi?
Gotta have Okada.
2010s.
Okada.
Yeah. It's Okada. You're right. Nah, bust out Naito. I'd rather have Naito.
Okay.
He'd probably do crazy shit. Oh, and then one wild card from any time.
New Jack.
All right. To counter the strength of New Jack, I'm gonna get the one guy who New Jack, he'll take himself out of the match because of this guy, and I'm talking about Vic Grimes.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be like, Vic Grimes, go after New Jack, and then he's like, do I have to? You get up there, and then he'll be like, I don't want to go off New Jack, I don't want to go, and he's be like, we're gonna do this right now. Boom! I don't have to worry about New Jack then, because Vic Grimes will fall on his head.
Uh-huh.
Oh. That was rough. Let's see here. Oh, here we go. Larson, I'm gonna let you take this question.
All right.
Jake just perusing says, do you think ticket prices will go back down after Cena retires, or will they continue to go up?
They'll continue to go up until they can't sell them at that price.
They will continue to go up until WWE is forced, I tell you, to lower them.
Yeah.
Which at this rate, I don't know. They seem to be able to sell these tickets
for basically any price they want to.
Yeah.
The ticket prices have very little or maybe nothing to do with Cena's retirement tour. It's just they're charging what they think they can get for him, and so far they are getting. Mm-hmm. Donald Seaman says, now that you don't have to choose, will you be doing a live watch along for All Out and WrestlePalooza? Yeah.
Who asked that? Seaman?
Donald Seaman.
Seaman, what do you think?
I'm down to do it. Let's do it.
I'm not doing that. What if the AEW busts out a 6-hour pay-per-view,
They're
bro?
not going to do it. That was only for All In, man. It was only for All In. They're not doing that for All Out. They're not.
I'm not.
They've announced 3 matches, and we're 16 days out.
I'm so not engaging there that long. The reviews would be fucking. Are you kidding? The review will be miserable.
Let's get some coffee or something.
What?
Let's get some coffee or something.
Get some coffee or something?
Yeah, it'll perk you up a little bit.
Man, I need to make sure these reviews are on point, and I'm not gonna. I got to bring some energy to it.
I can already tell you what the review for WrestlePalooza is going to be. Mid wrestling, boo, Brock is back. Cena tried to drag him to a decent match.
I can't do that, man. I can't do that. I gotta bring something to it. And I'm just being straight up honest. If I'm sitting there for 4 hours to kick off the day, or 5, it could be 5 hours, 4.5 hours.
Could be.
It's All Out. They're in Toronto. If I'm sitting there for that long, having to like be clown show over here, and then take an hour break, and then sit through 5 hours or 3 hours of WWE video packages,
probably four.
And
it's chill unk stream.
I mean, dude, even that's just like sitting here and sweating my ass off. No, it's not gonna work. That ain't gonna work. We got to make sure these reviews are good, man. It's the whole reason for not doing the watch alongs for AEW. So yeah, probably not gonna happen. Probably just do a watch along for WrestlePalooza.
Nate Cruz says, "What's your created luchador and their clone going to be called?"
Whoa, what a great question. I mean, dude, it's got to be Captain Action Coast.
All right.
Captain Action Coast. But then what's the clone called?
Captain Action Coast. What's another rank? Like private something?
Well, there's what's on par with a captain, like a major?
No, major's above a captain, isn't it?
Depending on the lieutenant is obviously below a captain. What rank is comparable to captain?
I'm trying to think like in the Navy, which is their ranking system's a little different.
Oh, here we go. In the U.S. military, a lieutenant in the Navy is the equivalent of a captain in the Army.
All right, so you go lieutenant.
A lieutenant. See, I'm just so used to like the Navy ranking because of Star Trek.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just like, lieutenant. They're crap. I'm going to say if it's a clone, here's the thing. If it's a clone, but it's an evil clone, I'm going to say they outrank them. So I'm going to say Admiral.
Oh. Admiral Action Coast.
Admiral Action Coast.
That's good.
Yeah, because then Captain Action Coast would be like, God damn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, that's going to do it for the show today. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We appreciate it. Till next time, we'll see you guys around.
Goodbye.